Right. Welcome, everybody, to Believe in the Dallas Cowboys.
The
Hey.
accountability show.
The what?
The accountability show.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up, Jesse. But I'm Jeff Cavanaugh from 97.1 The Freak and DFW. Listen on the iHeartRadio app also, 2 to 6 p.m. If you're outside the listening area, right there in DFW, 97.1 The Freak. The Speakeasy is the show name. This is Jesse Holly. You can see him right here. You can see him on A to Z Sports. You can see him on Unfiltered with Jesse Holly. You can see him on DallasCowboys.com. And once upon a time, you could see him running away from 49er DBs to get the Cowboys a dub. Didn't run all the way away because the field's long as hell, but he was running for a while.
Oh, Jesse Holly went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
And Jesse, I think, has an apology for y'all after. Jesse, I think, has an apology for y'all after I tell you that BetOnline is your number one information source for all sports wagering info with up-to-the-minute stats, news, scores, and matchup breakdowns. They would have let you know the Cowboys were going to be missing their whole offensive line, and you should ignore Jeff's advice. Get the latest game odds, spreads, and totals from the NFL and college football at your fingertips with BetOnline's real-time updates on stats, news, and odds. All the way from week 1 through the college football playoff and the Super Bowl. It's BetOnline. They got you hooked up. Go to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Use our promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Now, Jesse, would you like to apologize for your overconfidence in the Cowboys taking care of business against the Arizona Cardinals?
Yes, because I am all about accountability. This is the accountability show. And I apologize to all of you for my overzealous confidence in the Cowboys, who I thought was taking the next step. And this isn't doom and gloom. This is a long season. These type of things happen every once in the blue moon. I make no excuses. They, in the words of the great Deion Sanders, it was an old-fashioned butt kicking. They outcoached us. They outplayed us. They out-efforted us. They out-schemed us. They did everything that they wanted to do with very to little resistance on what we wanted to do. And shout out to the Cardinals, their organization, everything. They played as perfect of a football game as you can play in terms of doing what they wanted to do in the areas where we didn't do well. And this wasn't a Trayvon Diggs absence thing. This wasn't that. When you rush for over 220 yards, it got nothing to do with DBs. All right. This is a trench warfare. And whenever you give a team, if you rush for 200 plus yards or you give up 200 or something plus yards, that tells me right there where this game was won and lost. And it was won and lost in the trenches. When you're able to do that on the run game, everything else opens up for you. You're able to control clock. You're able to control the everything. You're able to everything. And they did that. And shout out to the Cardinals and their fan base. We put out a big old stinker, and I'm not taking full credit for this loss, but I'll take some credit for this loss.
Okay. I'm glad. Do you feel better? I just want to make sure I gave you an opportunity to own what you thought was going to happen and then what actually happened, and to tell people you were wrong. I just want to make sure you had your opportunity.
This is for the both J's, Jeff and Jesse. This is the J and J apology show.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I'll do it for us.
I predicted something way different.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's weird how this internet thing works, man. This stuff gets into the atmosphere. They know it lives forever, but two completely different choices. I get it. I understand.
I mean, I couldn't have been more wrong about like everything ever in this game. And not only that, just to one-up it, like in the last week or so, I was like, boy, Jalen Tolbert, I think, is going to come for some of these Gallup snaps. And then Michael Gallup had a big game too. So it was just like, let me make sure not only are you as wrong as you can be on this game, we're just going to slap you with a little extra wrong just to have some more. So yeah, it turns out that sports are weird.
Very.
But I'm going to give myself an excuse too now. I didn't know 60% of the line was going to be out. I clearly told you I thought Biotish was playing and Tyron was playing and Zach Martin was playing. I thought all these sons of biscuits were playing. And the wild part is, I don't know, maybe if they play, what happens in the red zone is different and you score a bunch more points and you win that game. But I don't think them being out is what lost the game.
I agree.
Maybe you would have won.
It has some effect. I mean, for the life of me, I've if there's anything outside of the red zone play calling, if there was anything that bothered me in this was why Chuma Edoga left tackle and Tyler Smith left guard when it should have been flipped and Tyler Smith left guard and Chuma Edoga left guard. That part I still been trying to wrap my head around for whatever reason, but that tells us that they're kind of pretty much dead set on Tyler Smith playing left guard.
Yeah, and maybe just because they knew it was a one game thing, and it's like, no, get in there where you're going to be. And I like part of me thinks that, and this is
it going to be a one game thing?
I mean, I would guess that a guy who was like Tyron was in pads. If something went terribly wrong, he would have played.
Well, the only reason Tyron was actually in pads is because by NFL rule, you have to dress 8 offensive linemen. It wasn't like he was in pads because he was in the emergency ready to go. They had no other offensive linemen to dress. I mean, they
had Tyler Biadasz and Zach Martin. They had to decide between those three, which one of you.
He was probably the closest to available to play.
So closest means I think he'll play next week. I think.
But you know, there's one thing that really, and this doesn't it pisses me off, but I'm not taking blame for this. This is, if I'm pointing fingers at the Cowboys front office and coaching staff, is we keep trusting this Tyron Smith situation. And year after year after year, we pass on potential left tackles in the draft to shore up that position in hopes that Tyron Smith will miraculously not be injury prone. And that part pisses me off. That part truly pisses me off because I'm not saying that Tyron isn't still a decent player, but Tyron is injury prone. I mean, there is no ifs, ands, buts about it. And again, I'm not trying to veer off the points that we have to make. But damn, like at some point in time, we got to just say, hey, brother, listen, thank you for your time served. What a wonderful job you did for us. One of these days, we'll put you up in the Ring of Honor. We'll be at your ceremony when they induct you to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But your services here are no longer needed. We count on you, and you let us down every single time. We prepare a season around you, an offensive line around you, the protection around you, and lo and behold, it's not if, but when, you will smack us right in the face with the injury wang. You'll smack us right in the face with the injury wang. The injury wang will smack you in the face. And Tyron is swinging the biggest of the biggest injury wangs on the team. And he whips that bad boy out consistently, and he smacks folks across the face with it.
Well, Jesse, we're on TV now sometimes in some markets on Fubo TV or whatever network we're on. You can't be doing did you call it the injury dong?
Well, yeah, the injury, the injury wang.
Either way, inappropriate, sir. The kids are watching.
And Tyron swings is swinging. He's that injury wang is swinging, and he is letting it on the table.
Well, here's the thing: is like, yeah, you're right, and the hard part is a lot of times the player catches the flag for that. It ain't his fault. That's their fault.
Right.
The Tyler Smith, in theory, was supposed to be to replace Tyler. Look, it's hard to find good offensive linemen, but this could send me down to a place where I don't need to be going down to like right after the NFL draft this year when I was like,
getting your draft back.
You use your first round pick on a run stopping defensive tackle. That is not valuable. And man, how did the Cowboys just lose, by the way?
220 plus yards rushing.
Yeah. Okay. How'd 58 play? Did he play? I don't know. I don't know. And it's like, look, defensive tackle is one of the positions that tends to take longer. Like Mozzie Smith, 3 years from now, he might be Dexter Lawrence. He might be. I don't know. But the idea of using a first round pick on a run stopping D tackle that can't rush the passer is for the most part stupid. And I just don't get it. It sucks that your first 3 round picks right now are going to give you literally nothing. Like Ferg will play, or not Ferguson, Schoonmaker. Like he'll play. Ferguson's the best tight end on this team. Schoonmaker ain't taking his job. Schoonmaker will never be tight end 1 on this team. Ferguson's better than him. Mozzie Smith at the moment can't give you anything. I hope he can one day. And the 3rd round pick was another non-valuable position in the top 3 premium rounds, and an off-the-ball linebacker who getting hurt is not his fault. And he, I think, actually will help this team when you get DeMarvion Overshown out there. But that was just something that I randomly was complaining about in my own head as we're watching them get gashed. And I'm like, well, at least you used a 1st round pick to stop this from happening. Whoops. I hope Mozzie turns into a good player. I hope he does. But the Cowboys haven't stopped a running quarterback since Nam. Just to be clear. The running quarterback gives the Cowboys so much hell. So much hell from the running quarterback. Was it the first play? It was the first drive of the game.
33 yards.
And they were just like, yeah, we're going to use Micah against himself, little zone read. And nope, there goes Micah at the running back. I'm going to pull that. Where's Jaron Curse? Hell, I don't know. Maybe he'll tackle me 40 yards later. He had a bad game. Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that go to this game. One, if you'd had your offensive line, would you have won? Maybe. Don't know. But it's not what totally brutalized you. Do I think you would have been better in the red zone offense if you were more confident in your ability to protect and you could have run it better? Sure, you'd have had a better chance to win the game. But I think a huge element of what just happened to the Cowboys is something that I actually dismissed, and I hope my radio co-hosts are kind to me today about, because on Friday, Mike Reiner looked me dead in the eye, and he's like, right, but also any given Sunday, things can happen. And I'm like, look, I'm not saying that's not true. I'm just saying it's not going to happen.
Right.
And it was like, guess what? Any given Sunday.
Happen.
Because I'll take you around the rest of the NFL. I mean, you can look at who the Eagles lost to last year, and they were a Super Bowl team, and they lost to the Falcons, and they lost to crap teams.
Right.
And then you can look around. I don't know if they were the 2nd biggest favorite in the league this week, but if they weren't, they were the 3rd biggest favorite in the league this week. And the Jacksonville Jags got plowed by the Texans.
Yeah.
Cardinals and Texans are supposed to be the 2 worst teams in football. And one of them beat the Cowboys, and one of them beat the playoff Jaguars this week. So crap happens, and there's a life lesson in here for me. Don't ever be too dismissive of stuff happens in sports and in football. My Texas Rangers have a 2.5 game lead in the AL West because the Astros just got thumped 3 times by a baseball team that sucks. Sports are weird.
Sports are weird.
Jeff, don't get too cocky.
Listen,
don't do it.
I'll say this. I'm going to continue to trust and believe what I see on film, because more often than not, it's going to be more right than it is wrong.
It was wrong
and listen, we got worked. We got worked. We got thumped. We got our tails whooped. And it didn't change the fact of what I saw on film. Didn't change the fact that what I saw on film. I thought 13 was still a liability on defense for them. He was a liability on defense for them.
Dude, no, timeout. Because, like, in the last week, as I said about Michael Gallup, I was like, it's kind of a 1.5-year sample size now. Told we're going to come get some snaps, and then Gallup had a good game. And you kind of were like, I dare that dude to line up on CeeDee. And so it had to drive you absolutely effing bonkers when you tried to throw a touchdown, and CeeDee Lamb did the equivalent of getting fouled on a 3-pointer and then just opting not to shoot. Like, go get the effing ball. It's not, I think I've been cheated here. I'm going to stop playing football and look at the ref. Go try to catch it.
Oh, that drove me through the roof. Just as a receiver, the hell who it was on. As a receiver.
Like, PI, I quit.
Yeah, like from the start to finish, like even when he came off the ball, he kind of came out with like a little hesitation, and it was like, oh, okay, I'll go now. At the slightest inconvenience, like the dude just didn't let him run to the corner of the end zone. He touched him a little bit. He's like, I'm not going to really play on this play. And he could have caught the ball, like literally just go and pluck it off the back of his helmet. He wasn't even forced into you like that hard. That drove me crazy. For some reason, the Cowboys' energy and effort wasn't there. I don't know if CeeDee was frustrated about something, that there was something that he saw or didn't see, or maybe because the last 2 games he was getting the ball at a record amount, 10, 11, 12 targets. In this game, maybe he didn't. Michael Gallup, he did what Michael Gallup does, goals and slants. That's what he's really good at, and that's what he did in the game. Goals and slants. Those are his 2 routes. And stops. Anytime he can do those 3 routes, he's going to be perfectly okay. Ask him to do anything else, there's going to be some issues in there. But he did what he normally is good at. We can fight and talk about the pass interference on him that was actually a pass interference on him that they actually called in the game, and then for some odd reason they picked the flag up. Don't know what they saw. Maybe they put the bet online and put a bet in on that one. But I mean, there were more than enough opportunities for this Cowboys team. You can't go 1 for 5 in the red zone. That is deplorable. That is embarrassing. And I'm not going to let this thing go by and not say, hey, Dak, you can't make that throw in the end zone, brother. That bad throw, bad read, small guy in the middle of 3 guys. Now, if we're talking about Dez Bryant, we're talking about Michael Irvin. We're talking about someone else who's 6'3", 4 or 5, and can actually go up and get that. You throw that really high in the back of the end zone and let them make a goddamn play. I'm not throwing it to 5'9", Brandon Cooks in the middle of 3 defenders in the red zone. I'm just not. That's just not an attempt that I want to make at that particular time. I understood what Dak was trying to do. He made a really bad decision, made a really bad read, didn't put enough air on the ball to even try to get it over top of the linebacker, and they baited him right into an interception, and sure enough, he gave the world what they wanted and the Cardinals what they wanted, a game-clinching interception, and we'll hear about it all week.
Oh, yeah. We're going to hear about that one. I will say this is just a random thing I want to throw out there now that we're 3 weeks into this thing. Boy, Rico Dowdle can play.
Yeah.
Boy, Rico Dowdle can run that thing, and he can catch that thing, and he plays hard, and he's got some burst, and he is tough to tackle. I love the running backs the Cowboys got right now, and I'm going to keep waiting to get to where I can say I love the weapons the Cowboys have. Like I'm gonna wait on my Brandon Cooks impact, because I think it's been way too positive leading up to all of this to not have it happen. Like we're gonna get there. We're gonna be like CeeDee and Cooks and Ferg and Pollard and Rico. This is a good group of weapons. But for today, I just want to shout out Rico Dowdle because that dude is tough.
Yeah, you got a little MB3 in him, a little Marion Barber in him. Just very, very physical. Like he runs with an aggression of, when you try to tackle me, if you tackle me, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt you way more than it's going to hurt me. And that kind of running, I think, will pay dividends for the Cowboys. That Rico Houdini run that he had, that he was dead to rights to the Cardinals. And he put his foot on the brakes and went back across the field, broke a couple tackles, and turned what should have been a 4-yard loss into a first down. That was impressive. That was impressive, and that shows you his vision, his burst, his power, his everything. That was full display right there. So I'm with you 100%. Yeah, your boy Deuce didn't get any snaps in this game.
Maybe he should have. Maybe he should have. Maybe we could have taken. Maybe we could give him some of them damn fullback snaps. We got a lot of Hunter Lipke happening out here. Whatever. We got dudes. We'll figure it out. No, we got all our guys getting hurt on the offensive line. I got 6 running backs, and I got no offensive linemen. And so, of course, all the offensive linemen are getting hurt. We're having a great time. Anyway, Cowboys got smoked by a bad football team because stuff happens. And all we want to do is make sure that you guys know that this is the episode of Believe in the Dallas Cowboys, the episode of accountability.
And let me say this before we exit out of this, because I want to be fair. This is an accountability episode. I want to be fair. I do want to be fair, and I want us to always be a credible source for people to come to get their Cowboy information on. Leading up to this game, and football, and let me also say this, football is very fluid. Football is very fluid, like water. High one day, low the next, and we have to move accordingly. Coming into this game, I thought the Cowboys had a chance to be a historic defense. I thought Micah Parsons was the best football player on earth. I thought CeeDee was getting ready to hit that next round. All those things are now off the table for me. The Cowboys are not the darling of the NFC. That still resides in the Bay and San Francisco. Micah Parsons, while he may not be the very best football player on the planet, not even defensive player, he's now jumbled in the conversation with TJ Watt and Myles Garrett and Max Crosby and Nick Bosa. Like he's in that comment, like he's jumbled in there now. He's no longer ahead of the class after this week. CeeDee still in the same category he was beforehand, still trying to break into that elite receiver category. Got to play better, got to play tougher, got to play harder. And the Niners are the favorites. Like the Niners, to me, after this performance, shows me that they are the favorites. Now, they go and lose. The Cowboys rebound next week. Well, I may have a different conversation. but it's Florida. It's fluid like water,
Fluid.
and that's how I feel this week.
It's fluid like water. Go Bucks tonight. Need Tampa to go ahead and beat the Eagles now. We need help now. Help now. It's not going to do it ourselves. Going to need some help now. Anywho, that's Believe in the Dallas Cowboys, presented by Bet Online. Thank you to my friend Jesse Holly, and thank you to all of you for being a part of it. And remember, you have no idea what anyone's going through, so be cool to everyone. We love you. Be easy.
Eliminate the contingencies.